James Melendez. On my show today, I'm going to feature this absolutely amazing Chardonnay coming from Okanagan Valley. Stay tuned. I love this wine. It is fantastic. Being in Okanagan Valley myself, which is in British Columbia, Canada, and it's east of Vancouver, it is really an amazing region, and it's one region that I compare and contrast to other regions, say Napa Valley. And Napa is very interesting because in Napa itself, you can look at many wineries and there's no restaurant attached. In you look at Okanagan Valley, there's at least, I'd say, a good 10, possibly a dozen. And I think that's a really great way of experiencing. Sometimes you go to a winery or a site and you want to stay there, and then you're done your tasting, there's nothing else to do. And so to have a meal and enjoy that, I think it's a really splendid experience. But I think for me, it's really coming back to the many varieties that grow there and the many varieties that do quite well there. Now this is Chardonnay, and I think Chardonnay has found a great home. And this particular producer is doing a really remarkable job. They have a great site. So let me show you this bottle here. It's called Coolshanagh 2014 vintage Chardonnay, and Coolshanagh means a meeting place of friends. Back label right here, and you're going to see that this is a bottle from Canada, so there's no need for a US warning on here, which is the way I think all wine bottles should be. Just my opinion, but I think it looks a lot nicer. And here you see Coolshanagh sits 7 kilometers, which is about 4.3 miles north of Naramata Bench. Naramata is really, I think the entryway would be Penticton, which is a city. So you have Kelowna on the north and you have Penticton right in the middle, and Naramata Bench is on the eastern portion of Okanagan Lake. And it says additionally here, was on the ancient west coast of North America and Okanagan Mountain. District regional flavors emerge from the fertile calcium carbonate and loaded with soil from fractured glacial bedrock. Glacial. That's a really key point here, and this is how a lot of great wine regions around the world are created. You think of North America, of course those lakes are there because of a past historical event. That historical event was the glaciation in North America, and I think this is really a fantastic region. In many ways it's relatively new, and it's old as well. So originally you would be growing grapes in Canada, British Columbia, Ontario, Quebec, and so forth, because you needed sacramental wines. And in doing so, it was thought that the Vitis vinifera would not do well. So there was a lot of hybrid grapes in Canada, and there are still hybrid grapes today. But when the success is that you look at, say, the Osoyoos band of the First Nations tribe was one of the first to plant commercial vineyard site with Vitis vinifera. Vitis vinifera, of course, is really the wine grapes that you really want to have wines from, in my opinion. I have tasted many a hybrid, and I'm not a huge fan. I try to keep an open mind, but Vitis vinifera, such as Chardonnay, is a Vitis vinifera wine. Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc, Syrah, Merlot, Malbec, and so forth. All those wine grapes that you know are generally going to be the Vitis vinifera variety. So I think this is really a handsome, beautiful wine. So this was harvested in October 2014. We might think that's really late, at least in California or lower portions, say in North America, or possibly even France. And but in Okanagan Valley, I wouldn't say it's always routine, but it's a later harvest. So this is lightly toasted in French oak puncheons, and the remainder is in concrete egg. This is a really wonderful way of creating a wine. Now it's aged on the lees for 11 months, and this was bottled in August of 2015. So now I'm going to talk about the point score. This is a 93-point wine. It's a solid wine, and beautiful texture to this wine, exquisite, elegant. And I think that's what I really, really want in Chardonnay. I don't always get that. Sometimes I get too much on the austere side, that is all stainless steel. That might be great for sparkling wine, but in my opinion, that is not my characteristic that I seek. I want a little bit of oak, not too much, and I want a really great kiss of minerality. Now in the scent characterization, I'm getting notes of heirloom apple, Comas pear, quince, and crushed seashells. Next is the flavor characterization. Elegant texture of this wine, really sublime notes of the minerality and the acidity is just working hand in hand together. So this is giving notes of Meyer lemon pulp, dried orange peel, hint of oyster shell, which I really like. I like that oyster shell notation because that's telling you a little bit of salinity as well as that minerality that comes through, as it should in Chardonnay in my opinion. and additional notes of green apple, white flowers, and tea. 93 points, beautiful wine. I would say this, do whatever you can to taste a wine from British Columbia. I think they're point of difference wines. They're uniquely different, and then in some ways when you're tasting them, I want to pair this with food from visiting in British Columbia and tasting beautiful food from the region as well. As for your wine merchant, I think the way British Columbia wines or Ontario wines are going to make it to the US is by you asking for them. So I think unless you're going to be visiting, which is a great way to experience the Okanagan Valley, which I recommend highly, is to really ask your wine merchant, hey, bring some of these wines in. I'd love to taste them. And I think that's a great success story of tasting wines like this. Small producers, and they're really putting in all the best fruit in the Okanagan Valley. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your support. I'm excited because this was, I was counting on tasting wine from Canada this year. And so it is October 2016. For me, it's a little later than I like to have tasted. In my opinion, this fits the bill of tasting on my wine racetrack of tasting wines from all regions and all varieties, making sure I do so on an annual basis. So thank you again for watching today. Stay tuned for more reviews to come. You're going to find me in a variety of social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, as well as Instagram and WordPress. Let's have a conversation there. Subscribe right up here, and the like button's right down here. So please hit that button. So let's stay connected, and more information on the producer will be listed down below so you can seek out this wine. Thank you again for watching today. Stay tuned for more. Sante.